Hi all of you awesome scuba divers out there, welcome to the Scuba Diver Magazine channel, your very favourite place for the latest scuba diving news and reviews. Today I'm taking a closer look at the Tecline 3D Mobility Undersuit, which is really designed for demanding divers and dry suit divers. Obviously it's a dry suit undersuit. Modern materials and technologies in this, a very well thought out and refined design ensures maximum freedom of movement, especially in the shoulders and in the small of your back, and thermal comfort as well, which is of course most important for a dry suit undersuit. There are two versions. We got the 290 here and the 490. The thinner 290 being a great summer undersuit or for a neoprene dry suit into the colder months. Neoprene dry suits, you don't require quite as much insulation underneath and you want something a little bit thinner. You can see the thickness difference between the 290 and the 490. The 490 is better for colder, longer dives with almost double the insulation in the undersuit. So the 490 for your membrane dry suits, or if you're really extreme cold water, long cold dives, you can wear it under a neoprene dry suit. But the 290 is more of a summer undersuit underneath a membrane, or you can wear it in colder waters or longer dives in your neoprene dry suit. The inner layer of the 490 is micropolar 200 grams per meter squared material. The outer layer is this Pertex 40 grams and a thin, breathable and very durable fabric on the outside. It looks a lot like that like ripstop material. It's soft and wicking on the inside, so it wicks moisture away from your skin, and then tough and flexible on the outside. Insulation in the very middle is made of fleece 250 grams per meter squared, and it's a modern material with exceptional thermal insulation properties even when it's wet. The undersuit is made in collaboration with Pinnacle, who have been making exposure protection for scuba divers for years now, so they know what they're doing. 3 pockets for convenient storage between dives, one of them being zippered, and the others are just hand warming pockets. Stand-up collar just keeps your neck nice and warm when you're on the dive. Two-way zipper is sealed from the inside with a pleat to prevent chilly air from your inflator just rushing straight to your skin. Elastic inserts underneath the arms in the armpit for flexibility without bulking up with too much material. You can still run your shutdown drills without being too restricted. Adjustable braces or suspenders, depending on what you call them, on the inside for between dives to keep the undersuit up when you take the top half off, a lot like your dry suit. High airflow zones over the wrists and the shoulder for better airflow to cuff and shoulder dumps, so you can vent gas nice and easily. Helps to prevent trapped gas. The wrists also have this unique neoprene cuff to hold them in place. It's nice and snug, and it keeps you a little bit warm if you get a small leak, because you're basically wearing a little wetsuit on your wrist. And you also have thumb loops on the inside, so that when you're donning and doffing, the neoprene cuff as well as that thumb loop is going to help it just stay in position. Ports for both P-valves and heating cables on the suit, and down at the bottom of the suit on the lower legs, the knees have this reinforced material to reduce wear and tear when you're getting kitted up. Okay, so this is how it arrives. It actually arrives in a plastic bag, but I took that off. But yeah, let's take a closer look at the dry suit itself. So starting up around the neck, we have this high neck. You've got the fleece on the inside, and this is like quilted to keep it in place. And it's a nice high soft neck, so it really does wrap up around your neck on those really chilly dives, or at least between in the surface interval and the wind is kind of blowing, then it's gonna keep you nice and warm. And you've got a Velcro section at the top to really seal that and keep that in place. A double zipper, if I just unroll it quickly. So a double zipper, one starts down at the crotch for bathroom breaks, and then a YKK zipper at the topper, so you can get in and out of the suit. It's a unisex suit as well. underneath that zipper, you have this like flush guard. It helps to prevent just that cold air from when you inflate your dry suit from going straight to your chest or your base layer and just kind of chilling you out. You still have some insulation there. A quick look on the inside. So you have this pleated fleece material. So even if you're not wearing a base layer, it's still soft against your skin all throughout the suit. And it helps to wick moisture away from your skin so that you feel dry inside of the dry suit, and then all that moisture just goes to the external layer. On the inside, you also have the braces or suspenders, depending on what you want to call them. They are on pinch clips, so you can remove them, and then the back section, as it were, you just have to unthread it a little bit. They're fully adjustable and they're elasticated as well, so you can get them to your perfect comfort, and that just helps to keep it in place. So that's pretty much it for the inside of the suit. Doing it back up again. So on your left hand's chest, you have a little zippered pouch. You can fit your hand in. It's a decent sized pocket, so useful for keys and things. Obviously try not to take your electronic car key down with you, just take the metal section, and yeah, it just keeps it nice and secure. Moving over to the arms. So here we can see the Pinnacle logo. They spent a lot of time developing this, and underneath the armpit, this whole section is that elastic section. So that just allows the arm to just stretch a bit, and it just reduces the bulk. If they just continued the material and still gave you that flexibility, you'd have a lot of excess material in your armpit, which just gets a bit in the way. So they just made it a bit stretchy, so you can still bend and stretch and reach for those valves, but you don't have any excess material. Across from that, you can see this mesh section where you can see that white internal fleece. So the fleece is what's keeping you warm, but this mesh just allows for greater airflow, and this is right where your auto dump should be, on your shoulder. You've got one on the right as well, and down at the cuff you also have this, so if you have a cuff dump you can vent from there. Now we move on to the interesting section that I don't think I've seen on any other undersuits. The actual cuff section is made out of neoprene. It's only about 1mm neoprene, but it's quite snug around the cuffs, so it keeps it really nice in place, and it also helps to just create a bit of insulation. On the inside, quite far down, you have a thumb loop, elasticated thumb loop. So again, when you're getting kitted up, you can hook that over your thumb and then just kind of thread that into place. Moving down to the waist, we have our hand pockets. So these are fleece lined, just on the outside of your hand, if that makes sense. So just on one side, it's more of just a hand warming pocket. You can definitely fit your hands in there, as well as a few other bits and bobs. It continues or the shape of the pocket is the shape that you can see. So you've got this little section down at the bottom. So if you put your keys in, they're naturally going to fall down to the lowest point, and they're less likely to fall out of the pocket, especially when you're walking around. P-valve loops, so a little hole in the suit on the left or the right, depending on which way you dress, and yeah, the zipper, as I mentioned earlier. Moving down to the knees. Now the knees is where the outer fabric starts to change. You get this tougher material. It's a bit more abrasion resistant. It's ergonomically shaped, so it's naturally bent a little bit like your knee, and that material continues down to the shins as well, and it's reinforced, so it's just nice and tough, because when you're setting up equipment, you're kneeling down on the deck of the boat or whatever, so yeah, it's just nice to have slightly tougher material. Down to the very ankles, it feels like you still got a bit of fleece insulation, maybe not quite as much as the rest of the suit, but you still have some insulation there, and an elasticated stirrup for your foot, just to keep the bottom of the leg in place. Flipping the suit over, because it's got one more party trick, or two more if if you count the butt section. You got that reinforced material over the seat, again, because when you're sat down, it's more abrasion resistant, so whatever you're sitting on isn't going to damage the suit. And you have another section of, it feels like neoprene again, just in the small of your back, so you get a bit of stretch when you're like bending to reach things. You get that stretch, but it's also covering up your kidneys as well, for a bit of insulation there. Altogether, it's a good looking suit. We see quite a few of this style Drysuit, Undersuit designs, and that obviously means that it works. And yeah, you got the nice stretchy materials, which is always nice to see. You don't always see that in a Drysuit, Undersuit, but when you need to bend and stretch, you at least have that. One thing that I didn't mention is the heating port. So that's just a little hole, again, that goes through the Undersuit that, if I can line them up, you can get your heating cables. If you have a heating vest or heating gloves or something with an external battery, you need to get the cable inside of the Drysuit, and then instead of having cables just running throughout your Drysuit, you can tuck the cable inside of the suit. Just keeps it a bit neater and a bit more organized. But instead of having to like have the zipper down a bit, you can just pop it straight through that port. But yeah, all in, nice, well put together. The material feels really good. The overall weight is nice and light. It's pretty low bulk. I mean, granted, this is the summer, like the 290, but even the thicker 490, it's not particularly big or bulky. It's very much kind of in line, but gives you plenty of insulation. So yeah, nice Drysuit undersuit. A very well put together undersuit. I do get Santi BZ400X vibes from a lot of the looks and the features, which is obviously a good thing. It's like comparing your car to a Maserati. It's like, oh, it looks like a Maserati. Well, that's a good thing. As cool as those like braces are, practically, I think they're a little overkill. I actually cut the braces off one of my undersuits because they're a little redundant. It's just something else that you have to deal with. If I ever take the top half of my undersuit off, then I'm usually going to continue and take the bottom half off also because I'm getting dressed, or I'm still like half in my Drysuit. So now I'm wearing like double braces. It is just a bit much to have braces in your undersuit. But hey, that's really up to you. It comes with braces, so if that's your thing, great. It's not really a deal breaker for me, but it's not a feature that ranks particularly high for me. Just under 200 euros for the 290 and 230 euros for the thicker 490. So that's a very fair price for both of them. It may not be the fanciest Drysuit undersuit with body map zones and like mesh and bells and whistles and things, but it's going to get the job done for a modest price compared to some of the competition out there. I've been wearing the 290 and that warms you up quite quickly. We're just at the end of summer, so yeah, I wasn't gonna try and sweat inside of the 490, but yeah, the 290 certainly keeps you nice and warm. The size chart is pretty accurate, but the suit itself is quite forgiving or flattering. By the size chart, I should be a large, but I can fit into these mediums and it doesn't feel too restrictive thanks to those elastic sections. But all in, yeah, it's a really nice undersuit at a very sensible price that I can honestly recommend. For more information about it, you can visit Tecline's website, teclinediving.eu, and have a look at the rest of their range, and head over to our website, scubadivingmag.com, and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube for the latest scuba diving news and gear reviews. Thank you for watching, everybody, and of course, safe diving.